Hello, world. Welcome to another edition of Enough Talk, the Alpha Video podcast. We're still rocking with our little faux Kotei warm up tournament here, and this is going to be one of the middle, I believe, the 2 seed against the 7 seed. Anyway, I'm Jesse Grabowski. You'll find me at
I am the
Comerica
two
Park.
seed.
I'll be scoring the game, the only guy there, still with his pencil and his scorecard. And I am joined by the
Yeah.
man who will pull this car over if you do not turn off the Smashing Pumpkins, Paul Ashman. What's up, Paul?
Hello, world. Hey, Jesse, how's everything?
Yeah, I can't complain.
Two completely disparate intros, but very nice, very nice. It makes me wish for some Tiger Blood music.
Yeah, we could throw another Tiger Blood intro into one of these one day. No one really gave us any feedback about it. That was kind of disappointing.
Dis- yeah.
People would rather talk about
It's
L5R
possible
and
that he's like faded out of the.
no, not that. I mean, he has
I
certainly
tell you,
faded out of
people.
the community, but the fact that we put that awesome music in the podcast and no one even noticed just brought a tear to my eye. Um, you before we started airing here, you were dogging on baseball. I, of course, am something of a baseball fan. I mean, as sports go, I tell people I like baseball just to be the one guy who likes it. And I remember there was a time in your life when you were a huge baseball fan.
Like I said, I still sort of watch the World Series. I still follow it intermittently. I was disappointed that Scherzer left Detroit, signed with the Nationals for 210 million over 16 years. I guess it's prorated over like 14 years, but I mean it's a sport I enjoy following, but it's a very long season, and it's one of the few sports that doesn't really hold up as television viewing. The games have just become sort of farcically long. I, I don't know what to say. My interest and enthusiasm is less now, despite the fact that the Tigers have been pretty damn good for a while now.
I feel exactly the same way about football. What's weird about football for me is that that's supposed to be the TV sport. That's the one that is super, super interesting. But it's so
Yeah,
stop and go. It's so like we ran for 2 yards. Let's all stop for a Ford commercial, and here we're back. Let's run for one more yard. Like I don't understand how this is the one that's the TV sport, and it's so laughable because you even have the
well,
whole
you've
red
become.
zone show.
Yep. Oh, it's absolutely there's a built-in acknowledgement to it. There's like I have a theory that the reason people like football is because of the built-in breaks. So like because of the like, oh, okay, we've ran two, okay, third down is over, they're gonna punt, so I have exactly like 2 minutes between punt and commercial break for change of possession to go get slice of pizza. Like I feel like people have just built in the regulated downtime. Like people who like watching the Super Bowl for the commercials or something.
We can do a whole podcast about that. We don't even need to play L5O. We'll just talk about people who like the commercials of the Super Bowl
So
because good lord, I don't understand
I
how.
like terrible short bills.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding. I don't know how shilling has been elevated to some sort of entertainment form. Not just to an entertainment form, but to a hipster cool entertainment form.
Yeah. I feel like commercials have been living on their reputation now for well over a decade. It's like it's been a long time since we had those penguins.
Yeah, and the Penguins weren't even that interesting. All right, let's talk about L5R. I'll go first. So
Okay.
this is my favorite brew to come out of Kotei season. It's a crane deck with a Kage Sensei, so it's not going to be that super duper unique. Except, hey, look, I'm only playing 6 cards that are not followers. So we're playing a total of 34 followers. It's all just a Mountain of Force generation and little pew pew ranged attacks, incendiary archers, expert archers, spearmen, Ashigaru, Spearmen, and Dark Naga Ambushers, combined with some Force Generation with Merchant Guard, Family Sensei, and Slave Jin. A couple Colonial Conscripts to get you here and there if you're silly enough to play that 4 for 4 farm. Watch Commander, straight dual meta, and 2 Commander Steed because Conqueror is awesome. This is the strategy of this deck is to just attack, attack, attack. We've played it before on video. I've written an article about it, so I don't need to go over it too much. But you can see Lonely Dojo is sort of the glue that holds it all together. This lets us generate tons of gold and tons of force at the same time. Family Dojo, tons of force. Otherwise, we're just drawing a bunch of cards. Remote temples to go get our rings. Ring of Earth is pretty key for the deck. So if we go early JPI, we'll get Remote Temple, get Ring of Earth. We'll actually version it out for our first couple attacks so they can't get us with the favor or something. And then we're just playing Destined guys, Conqueror guys, and four gold guys to hold all of our followers in attack. Not a lot to say. If you have questions about the deck, I encourage you to check out one of our older videos or to check out the articles, the card spotlight on Lonely Dojo article that I wrote a couple months back. I love this deck. I think it's a great contender going into the early Kotei season. People don't see it coming. You throw down like random shield wall, and people just lose their marbles because suddenly their deliberations and things are turned off. Uh, it's the kind of dark horse deck that I think can work.
Yeah, I like this deck a lot, and you've played it. We've both played it a lot. It's I play it in paper as well, and I always have a big smile on my face when I play it. There's something that's very psychologically satisfying to me with my gigantic phallic units. Just dude with all his followers just sort of going at it. I will be trying to match you in unit size, if not numerical cards attached. I am playing a Unicorn Shugenja deck, and there's, like Crane Akagi Sensei decks, there's any number of Golden Plains of the Unicorn with Akikazu Sensei with Shugenja decks. We saw the Worlds deck a few months back. That was really one of the blitzier variations. It had Generals Hatamoto in it. It was a little bit more just pure aggressive, and there's a number of very aggressive Unicorn decks. We've featured them in videos past. This is more of a I'm playing Unicorn, get really good gold, and overwhelm you with value kind of strategies. My personalities all have sort of efficient force rates. They all have some good, useful keywords or abilities here. I've got my guy who gets naval. I got my Conqueror guy. This guy's resilient and destined. Straighten effects like crazy. And then this is my sort of, I wish I had 18,000 copies of Back to the Front. And then the uniques. Just the one Watu. I'm not a crazy guy. I've seen the triple Watu and Akikazu Sensei decks, which I actually kind of like. I like getting that Sensei online, but there's a limiting reagent in terms of overall deck space. So these are my golds. Nothing special here. JPIs and stables. I've got the Ivory Courtroom for favor stuff. I don't have Contemplative Shrine because I just can't imagine ever really wanting to discard any of my spells because they're all really good value. These would be the slots that you would play with if you wanted to go to more bazaars or famous bazaar or county house, something like this. The Fate is sort of where you'll see, I think, the real variation. So if you're not playing a General Hatamoto's sort of blitz deck, which I am not, dynasties are going to be pretty homogenous here in the same way that an Akagi Crane Scout deck is going to have Tanishi. It's probably going to have Ibarra. You're probably going to have Xanthar or Tamatakas. My Fate is a sort of an amalgamation of sort of fear effect type stuff. I've got Tested Blades plus Stones plus Occur is released, along with some range attack stuff, Unholy Strikes with Deliberations, with just the one copies of Sailor's Warning, but Guidance in War gives out range 3 a lot. And then I've also got 2 Finals Ruins. Only one of the Fire Kami's Greed. The force reduction effects we've seen before, I'm sort of testing. I don't think it actually has much of a place here, but I'm kind of interested in it, and I think it's a card that is justifiable. And then just good solid filler cards. Creating Order, Unsettling, Gathering are very good when you have great economy there. I've got 1 Planted Evidence because when I play Unicorn with Cloth Markets, I always have at least 1, sometimes up to 3. And then Victory Through Deference, couple of rings. This deck does not have the long-term fruition package because it's not really a crush you with overwhelming number of Fate cards kind of deck. It doesn't really need Void that much because it takes provinces pretty fast and aggressively. It's generally plays with just out a couple of units, a couple of good size units that are hard to deal with. And I've had a lot of success with it. It's a very fun deck. Unicorn have a lot of options available to them in both how you construct the deck, how you choose to play the deck, and so it gives it a lot of resiliency against a wide field. And I think that with the economic advantages afforded Unicorn is really why you'll see it consistently place well this Kotei season as well as last Kotei season, and even going forward because they have a really good personality base. And even when you get to 20 festivals, which is for another 3-4 months, you losing that first turn gold, but still getting it on second turn, you can really just develop really well. So
All right, let's rock on.
that is my Unicorn deck. I'm pretty excited to play this game.